Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading of the week for June 7th to the 14th, 2024. I invite you to close your eyes and join me in taking 3 nice deep breaths, as well as setting the energy for this reading through our intention. Just imagining a tree root coming down out of the base of the spine. Knowing that that tree root is grounding us and allowing us to be fully present in our now, as well as providing us with a conduit through which anything that no longer serves us can easily pass down into Mother Earth and become compost for our new good growth. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I'm here with all of your children, now and in the future, to do this reading for June 7th to 14th, 2024. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information we most need to receive right now, and to provide this in a manner that we will easily and effortlessly hear, understand, and integrate for our personal and collective highest and greatest good. I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all of those listening now and in the future, as well as an overlighting angel of communication to be present and facilitate this exchange, ensuring that it happens in the highest and best way possible, that we cover all that is in our personal and collective heart and mind for our highest and greatest good for this window of time of June 7th to the 14th, 2024. At this time, I'd like to invite the 4 archangels to come and hold the 4 directions around us, creating a sacred container of love, of light, of wisdom, of healing, of transformation, of upliftment and peace. I invite Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Uriel to hold the north. Thank you for coming. Anything that doesn't match these frequencies and intentions of love and light is welcome to go now. Okay, my friends, let's get started. So today, I have roses from the Heart's Home Garden. The wild ones have begun, which is the petals that you see here. It's later in the day, so I've collected them after the bees have gone about doing their foraging. They're about to fall off, so a little bit faded. And this is my Westerland rose, which is an incredibly fragrant rose that blooms outside of the window to my living room. And it's a wonderful place to sit on a sunny day when it's hot, because the rose is on a south-facing wall and it's just this bower of fragrance. And we have a bower of fragrance right now because of the intensity of the scent of these beautiful wild roses. This is from Rosa ultramontana, which is the wild rose, one of the wild roses that grow in British Columbia, usually up in the hills. So it's been in my garden for a while. I kidnapped a little one and brought it home, and now it's taking off. It's going to take over my garden, I'm afraid. It's a thicket rose. Okay, let's get back to the reading. Creator, what is it that we most need to know this week? As we bask in this lovely energy of love, that is what the rose symbolizes, bringing that wonderful love energy into the reading this week so that we can hold that high frequency of love and light in our experience as we go about our time this week of June 7th to 14th, 2024, for our highest and greatest good and the highest and greatest good of all those we love and this beautiful planet we love and call home. I wish I could waft the scent to you through the ethers. So we're starting with the Prince of Swords. Princes are knights in other decks, and that's a lot of movement is usually what's indicated. So this is sitting in the past position. It's where we're coming from this week. It's the energy, things we know, things we've understood that are relevant to our present and our future moving forward. We have the energy of change on the level of ideas and action. It's a mind energy. So things are changing. Belief systems are changing. Ideas are changing. Things that maybe we thought would never change are changing. There's a renewal. There's a frequency of new ideas coming in and old ones going out. We just need to keep this in mind. Once again, the narratives that we're being fed. I don't tend to tune in to the mainstream media very often, but they're kind of the caboose of the train, if you will. These are old ideas, old ways of being that just haven't caught up with the energy of where we're going. The front of the train, the engine of the train, is in a completely different place than the caboose. And yet it's the caboose that's broadcasting. So just remembering that if you're feeling a little bit disheartened or overwhelmed by that narrative or the stories that are coming across your feed or in your world, just take heart from understanding that energy is changing. People are changing. I mean, just think about where we were 10 years ago or 20 years ago, if you're old enough, or 40 years ago, and how far we've come, how much life has changed in that time frame. Change is the only constant really in life. But this is telling us that change and that understanding of change and embracing of change and grasping of that change is important. We need to remember that it's continuing, and it might be unsettling as we forge a new reality and understand life from a new perspective. We need to keep an open mind. We need to be curious. We need to stay willing to consider new ideas and new possibilities, because as soon as we shut down our thinking, we shut down. It's like if we close down and we're fixed and we're not willing to look at things, then we cause our density. We become denser and heavier, and it's difficult for us to break out of that and to reach for new ideas and for insight to drop into our space. Part of what we're cultivating as intentional people on this planet is more room, more space. We're becoming more wave, less particle. And we're doing that by practicing our breathing, by being in the body and breathing and holding more light and life force energy and space in our light force energy bodies. I mean, our human forms are sort of the dentist aspect of it. So it's taking some time for us to change our ideas and understanding about how this works, but it is happening. And there are those on the fringes of our world who are holding all these incredible new possibilities. They're already living into the new field of energy, the new awarenesses that are coming. And it hasn't maybe gelled in the collective field yet, but it's a critical mass thing. The more of us become aware of things, the faster everything changes. So just remember these pieces as you look out into the world and wonder, is humanity going to make it? Don't buy into those stories that you're being told. Hold your own wisdom, hold your own center, hold your own desire for what the future will look like, and nourish it with your attention and your good life force energy and your wonderful choices in your day in, day out life, because it's nourishing you, first of all. And it's bringing a higher frequency of energy to the field of those around you who get to be in your vicinity and bask in your energy. But also on the human family level, it's shifting that collective field in a different way to something more positive and resilient and uplifting. Again, we want to take energy from those old paradigms that are bringing us down and that are dense and that are the old ways of thinking. And we want to nourish the new possibility space. We have another knight, and this is in the present position, or prince as they are in my decks. And this is wands, which is, of course, creativity, inspiration, and passion. In our present environment, this is where we need to be. We need to be reaching for our passion, reaching for our yes, reaching for that which brings us to more love and light and creativity and generosity and expansion. So changes on those levels, because of course it's a night, it's movement, it's energy, it's things changing on that level, and understanding that this serves us, bringing more energy into that creative potential of within us, our generative potential, and whatever that expression is for you, so long as it's lined up with your higher enthusiasm, your highest enthusiasm. I'm not talking about cloud nine here. I'm talking about what is bringing you to more life in this moment, what's bringing you to more joy, satisfaction, pleasure, fulfillment. That is where we need to be giving our energy and our attention this week, is what this card is telling us. That is the direction we need to be pointing our boat in. That will help us to harness the momentum and move in right direction, because there is a collective universal momentum that is happening on the planet at this time, and we are all part of it. And the question is, are you going to jump in the river of that flow and go with it? Or are you going to try and swim upstream and fight against it? The old paradigm is fighting against where this is going, which is why it's getting so loud and so violent. It's the old. we need to transform. We're moving in a new direction. Energy is rising. Humanity is changing and transforming. That's where we're moving towards. And so each of us as individuals, by connecting to our passion and connecting to that which brings us to more joy and fulfillment, we're building that in our own field. We're adding it to the field of relationship we have with those around us. And again, as I said, the collective humanity everywhere. The near future, joy. This is a wonderful card, the Six of Hearts. It's very, very simple. It's very simple. The simple pleasure of being here now in a body with those we love, enjoying life. Our life does not have to be complicated. Our experience does not have to be complicated. Our enjoyment, our satisfaction, fulfillment do not need to come from complicated things. That is something that we've been fed, once again, by the narratives and the stories of those who've come before and maybe wanted us to do things a certain way. Consumer culture, for instance. You got to have that new fridge. Your old one works fine, but you got to have the new one. Or, oh, you need a new set of dishes. You know, those are old dated and half of them are broken or whatever it is. Just noticing what really brings us to more joy, what really brings us to more satisfaction. Because this simple joy, the joy that we experience as children, comes from simple things. It comes from being out on a beautiful day with someone you love or someone's, or your beautiful pet, enjoying the immediacy and the beauty and that moment. The joy that comes from stroking your pet and hearing it purr or be delighted with that attention and that love. Those simple pleasures are not to be underestimated in what they bring for us within ourselves in our field. But once again, because we are all connected, what we're nourishing the collective human field with. So as we move into the near future, this sort of simple pleasures, coming back to the good, coming back to what is most enjoyable and satisfying and fulfilling. And we each have a different one. Our yes is different, but there are certain things that as we as humanity, can collectively agree on are important. Spending time with loved ones. That's a standard joy. And witnessing beauty and having our heart cracked open by that. That's another universal, I think, for most of humanity. I'm sure there are those who are seriously broken and that's difficult for them, but I suspect even for them, there's deep healing and well-being that comes from witnessing beauty like that. I know there is. I mean, beauty is intensely healing. That's why nature is so nourishing for us and being in it is so important. Foundation card. I love this card. The sun. It's just about like the energy that I've been talking about. This field of joy, simple joy, of basking in the light of life, whatever that might be, but the simplicity of it and the ease of it. We have robins here who are mated for life, basking in the rays of the sunshine. It's beautiful high summer. We have blue skies. All that good energy that we associate with high summer and with the radiant energy of our luminary, the sun, which is so nourishing. Understanding that the rays of sunlight that come to the planet are not only our source of energy in a superficial materialistic kind of sense, but it's information that's coming to us. And with all the solar flares that we're having, it's contributing to the evolution of humanity, because that's the higher octave of the sun card, is evolution. It's often portrayed with sunflowers and turned to the sun. But this beautiful idea of our evolution coming from light, coming from our striving to enjoy more and be present here more, keeping things simple, keeping things moving in the direction of our highest satisfaction and pleasure and joy and fulfillment. So it's interesting because the cards this week, we have this lovely energy of change, of the old moving away, the whole mental paradigm that has been dominant for so long. It's continuing to shift. It's continuing to move. We have new ideas about things. We're learning things in a new way. We're perceiving things in a new way. And as I said, it may not have trickled into the mainstream, but that doesn't mean it's not happening everywhere on the planet at this time. And this creative change, this creative momentum, and this ability for us to build a wave of positive change by tapping into our yes, by moving our own life forward in beautiful, empowering and satisfying ways, and supporting those around us in finding their yes and moving their lives in that right direction. Can you imagine a planet where everyone is in that space of deep satisfaction and striving and seeking to be the best and seeking to affirm and evoke the best from each other as they all are reaching to achieve their potential, not as a competition, but as a collaboration? How do we co-create more together? How do my gifts add to your gifts? And how do we make the world a better, more beautiful place? That kind of a thing. And then we have this card of the near future, this energy this week of joy and simplicity and coming together with those we care about, allowing ourselves to settle into the present moment through the breath, into the body, being here now, breathing in the fragrance of the roses, stopping to smell the roses, stopping to feel the warmth of the sun on our skin, savoring the aroma of coffee or tea if you drink these things, or wine, or enjoying a really great big glass of water and being grateful for that. Because, of course, water has consciousness. We're learning that now. And so thanking the water that we're consuming, because as we thank that water, because we are bags of mostly water, we're thanking ourselves and we're adding to that energy of gratitude and appreciation in our own field. And that can only be a good thing for everyone. And then fundamentally, why we're having the reading this week is this energy of evolution. We are evolving. We are changing. The world is, as I said, it's almost like a train. We have the engine. We have those who are in the generative potential, who are driving the train. And then you have the caboose, which is sort of the tail end of things. And most of us are somewhere in between on the train. But broadcasts are happening from the caboose. Sometimes we see them from the front of the train, but mainly in our world these days, we're getting it from the caboose about how it was. So once again, if I can encourage you to understand how important your attention is. And if you're feeding your attention to the nightly news and letting it dominate your vibration and bring you to a not resourceful place, then you are not in service to more love and light and transformation on the planet. Plain and simple. So just be aware of that. Where attention goes, energy flows. And if you're giving your attention to a story and a narrative that is not resourceful, not life-generating, not bringing you to more life or bringing life to more life, be aware of that. Just be observant. Get curious. The more curious we are, the better this is all going to go. That's that energy of joy. I mean, think about kids at the beach, or in a creek, lifting rocks, seeing what's underneath. I mean, yes, okay, they're messing with the ecosystem. But that pure experience of wonder and curiosity and connection and getting wet and being with the life that's in their environments. It's rich. And of course, done with respect and integrity is important, and we need to teach our young ones that. But that kind of simple joy is where we need to go now to give ourselves permission to get to that state. And of course, it's all leading to evolution. How we position ourselves is how this is going to go. So where do you want to put your energy? Do you want to be a generative creator of more love and light and beauty on the planet? Are you adding to life, or are you reducing life? Are you turning the dial up on your life knob, or are you turning it down? And is your contribution turning life up for more people, or is it turning it down, making them fearful, making them small, making them less than they were? It's really important for us to be aware of that, or polluting the environment or polluting the world. And I'm not penalizing anybody. I simply want to start dropping some pebbles into our collective ponds, because if we personally can do something differently, then it's up to us to do it, right? And to do it to the best of our ability. And that's where this wonderful insight is, because we're starting to have new insights of how we could do things differently. And it's good for all of us if we're receptive and open and willing. And that's the evolution of humanity. And that also has everything to do with where we're lined up. Because if we're shut down and fearful because we keep watching the nightly news and getting freaked out by everything, then our energy is dense and we're not receiving the downloads. We're not open enough to receive the insights that are coming through right now for those who are staying conscious and intentional, saying yes to their yes, flowing with light force energy, nourishing themselves with joyful experiences and moments of appreciation and gratitude and presence. I think this is pretty clear. I feel like I could go on and on about it, but I think you get the gist. So from here, let's go on to the card to grow on. I don't want to turn this one over. I like it so much. It feels so aligned with all the roses and the energy of the day. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here. We've been having lots of rain, which has been wonderful. And it's also wonderful to have the sun and the life leaping forth. A combination of life-giving water and life-giving warmth of sun. Creator, what is it that we most need to know this week? What is our card to grow on? That we may carry it within our heart, mind, consciousness, and leverage the insights and wisdom that come with it and the symbolism to awaken our good and our best, most resourceful states, so we can line up and share our good energy and bring more life through for everyone's highest and greatest good, please, including us. And the King of Wands, so that energy of generative potential. It's where it's at. What's exciting? What's inspiring? How can you nourish this? How can you say yes to your yes? And take your yes further. Understanding that as we are each moving towards our yes is exactly where life wants us. That's why it's shiny. That's why it's compelling to you and to me. It's not compelling to anybody else because it's not part of their yes. It's not where life wants them to be. So our homework is to line up with this. And we have the king. It's not the queen. Queen is all about flow. She's intuitive. She feels her way. It's emotive. This is more have a plan, work the plan, have a vision, set up structures, do things and put them in place so that you're creating structure and sustainability into your generative process, whatever that might be. So that might be, building it into your schedule, blocking off time and saying, yeah, I'm going to be studying this topic at this time and this time and this time, or I'm going to get into the studio, or I'm going to get out into the garden, or I'm going to play my music for this much every day, and structuring it in, making it sacred. When we give our attention to something, it becomes sacred. So be aware of the preciousness of your attention. And so this is our card to grow on, creating structure, supporting ourselves into our thriving with our generative potential, our yes, paying attention to it, creating space for it, creating structures around it so that we can be successful at it and be satisfied and fulfilled and bring that amazing generative potential to earth through humanity. It's one of our superpowers as human beings, is our generative capacity. And when we combine that with the awareness of sacredness, our connection to each other and this planet, there are remarkable things in humanity's future. We're just getting started. And the shift in awareness around the sacred is a key part of it. So maybe play with that idea this week. What is sacred to you? How can you make things sacred? Your actions, your decisions, understanding that as you bring your attention to something, you're transferring sacredness to it. And play with it. Get curious, get playful, filled with wonder and delight, and see where it takes you, that simplicity of being a child. And with that, we have this week's reading. So I hope it has been nourishing for you on whatever level you most needed to hear it on, and that it brings you closer to your yes, to your own wisdom, your own inner guidance, your own connection to source energy, the broader, wiser part of you that we all have access to. And we've just forgotten how to do that, and we're all rediscovering it now. I hope it's been helpful. I invite you to close your eyes, take a nice deep breath with me. Taking in that rose fragrance, pretending you smell it. Why not? Playing with that. That nourishing breath. And the fabulous release of what no longer serves us. How beautifully and wondrously tuned our bodies are. Our systems. Creator, thank you for my life. Thank you for this opportunity to be here and do this work. Thank you for each and every individual who tunes in to these readings. I ask that we all integrate this wisdom and understanding on very deep levels, that we come home to ourselves through it, so that we can rise and shine and become who we are here to become, enact our sacredness, our ability to make all sacred through our attention and our energy and our focus. And through that sacred awareness, transform our interactions with life, with others, with this beautiful planet, through our generative potential, our gifts, abilities, and talents, and make the world more beautiful through our passing, more harmonious, loving, kind, compassionate, and beautiful. Maybe even more efficient, and because we all have different skills to bring. And may we all discover what our yes is, and where we need to go, and who we need to be with, to bring our yes to life more fully, more broadly, more richly, for not only our own highest satisfaction and fulfillment and joy, but that of all those whose lives we touch, not as prima donnas, not as narcissistic individuals, but because all of us thriving means everyone else can thrive too, and we can make more good things happen as we raise our energy and we hold space and call each other into our highest expression. Thank you, Creator, for the opportunity to do these weekly readings. Many blessings on all those listening. May we all rise beautifully at this time and beyond. Thank you to all those who helped to hold this space today. Thank you, guardian angels. Thank you, Spirit of Heart's home and these beautiful roses. It is a wondrous life. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you again next week. The reading might be a little bit shorter, different format. I'm going to try something out. So I hope you're up for that. And of course, we're going to have the solstice reading coming up soon as well. So I hope you'll tune in for that and add your good energy to this collective field that we're holding together. Much love and light. Take very good care, and I will see you again soon.